A poor diet is among the most pervasive and underestimated destroyers of skin health. In an era dominated by convenience, processed foods, and sugar-laden options, it has become disturbingly easy to undermine the skin's vitality from within, often without realizing the full scale of damage being done. While skincare routines and cosmetic treatments get much of the attention in conversations about beauty and aging, what we consume daily plays a far more foundational role. A diet filled with ultra-processed foods, refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and nutrient deficiencies sets off a chain reaction of biological disruptions that strip the skin of its resilience, clarity, and youthful structure. These effects are not superficial or temporary. They dig deep, accelerating skin aging, triggering chronic inflammation, and weakening the skin's ability to repair and defend itself. At the center of the dietary assault on skin is inflammation. Refined carbohydrates and sugars, which dominate processed food products, rapidly spike blood glucose levels. This leads to a surge in insulin, a hormone that, when chronically elevated, triggers inflammation throughout the body. In the skin, this inflammation manifests as redness, puffiness, sensitivity, and most visibly, acne. High glycemic foods such as white bread, pastries, sodas, and sugary snacks feed a cycle of hormonal disruption that overstimulates the sebaceous glands, increasing oil production and clogging pores. The result is more frequent and severe breakouts that do not easily respond to topical treatments because their root cause is systemic, not external. Even more destructive is the process known as glycation. When sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen and elastin in the skin, they form advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which damage these structural proteins and reduce their functionality. Collagen and elastin are what keep the skin firm, smooth, and elastic. Once damaged by glycation, they become rigid, brittle, and prone to breakdown. This leads to visible sagging, fine lines, and deep wrinkles, often years ahead of what would be expected based solely on chronological age. Glycation also dulls the skin's tone and interferes with normal cellular repair, making the damage not only visible but also lasting. Processed foods are particularly dangerous because they are often devoid of the essential nutrients that support skin health. Vitamins A, C, E, zinc, selenium, and omega-3 fatty acids all play vital roles in maintaining skin function, protecting against oxidative stress, supporting wound healing, and regulating inflammation. Diets lacking these nutrients leave the skin defenseless, unable to mount a strong response to daily environmental stressors like UV exposure or pollution. Without antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds from real, whole foods, the skin becomes more vulnerable to free radical damage, which accelerates aging and promotes uneven pigmentation, rough texture, and a blotchy, unhealthy appearance. Equally harmful are the industrial seed oils and trans fats found in many processed snacks, frozen meals, fast food, and packaged baked goods. These fats disrupt the delicate balance of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids in the body, leading to a pro-inflammatory state that further exacerbates acne, redness, and premature aging. The skin's lipid barrier, essential for retaining moisture and keeping irritants out, is compromised when it's built from low-quality dietary fats. This results in dry, flaky, irritated skin that struggles to stay hydrated no matter how many creams are applied. A poor diet also impacts the gut-skin axis, a growing area of research showing that imbalances in gut bacteria, dysbiosis, have direct effects on the skin. Highly processed diets damage the gut lining, promote bad bacteria, and trigger systemic inflammation that manifests externally. Conditions like rosacea, eczema, and cystic acne are increasingly linked to poor gut health, and by extension, to poor diet. When the gut is inflamed and leaking toxins into the bloodstream, the skin becomes a secondary site of detoxification, resulting in inflammation, breakouts, and persistent irritation. Moreover, excessive caffeine and alcohol, both often staples of the modern processed diet, dehydrate the skin, impair liver detoxification, and further drain the body of vital nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and vitamin C. These depletions make it harder for the skin to produce collagen, fight oxidative stress, or regenerate effectively. Over time, this leads to more visible signs of fatigue, such as dark under-eye circles, dull tone, sagging cheeks, and increased sensitivity to sun and environmental pollutants. The damaging effects of a poor diet are not just aesthetic, they reflect deeper dysfunction. Skin that is inflamed, dull, or prematurely aged is often a warning signal that the body is under internal stress, nutrient-deprived, and overloaded with metabolic waste. Topical skincare can only go so far when the foundation, the body's cellular and metabolic environment, is compromised. And worst of all, many people continue eating poorly for years before realizing the true cost, by which time the cumulative damage is much harder to reverse. What makes dietary skin damage particularly insidious is its slow, creeping nature. Unlike a sunburn or an allergic reaction, the harm doesn't strike in a single moment. It builds quietly, invisibly, until the signs are undeniable. By the time the skin starts to sag, discolor, or erupt chronically, the underlying systems, hormonal, immune, digestive, are already strained, and recovery is no quick fix. Ultimately, the food we eat either nourishes and rebuilds the skin or tears it down from within. A diet heavy in processed, sugary, and nutrient-poor foods does the latter, and no product on the shelf can truly mask that reality. If radiant, resilient, and youthful skin is the goal, real dietary change is not a suggestion, it is an urgent necessity. The skin reflects the body's internal balance, and a poor diet guarantees imbalance, dysfunction, and accelerated decay, no matter how advanced the skincare routine might be.